Salut tout le monde. Hi everyone. Now, I'm so glad that you finally took the bold step to take this free introductory FTC course. It is really an investment, and I appreciate you that you invested your time to take it, because not everybody sees this opportunity and jumps right at it. So I'm so glad, as I said, that you took that bold step. You have actually started your French learning journey, and that is why you see that at the beginning of this lesson, I actually greeted you with the French, the salut tout le monde. Salut means hi in French, and tout le monde means everyone. So let's take that as the very first thing that you learn in the French language, if perhaps you just started learning the language. Now, this lesson one is actually based on why you have to learn French for TEF Canada fast. And I'm the one that is going to be taking it, Aziz Ola Shuderu. Before we actually go on, I would like to give you a basic introduction about what we are going to be doing today. Now, please, you need to know that the ability to learn a language is the best skill that you can ever develop. Why do I say that? The reason being that if you know a language, you speak that language. Take for instance in your own country, maybe for instance Nigeria, where a Yoruba person, a person born in the Yoruba land, knows a language of the Igbo people. If he knows the language of the Igbo people, or maybe perhaps the Hausa people, if he is going to the market and he wants to buy something from a person that speaks Hausa, what do you note when you see that kind of person in the market? You see that they feel as if the Hausa people feel as if that person is one of them. And as a result of that, they try to always reduce their prices to that person, for that person, because he speaks the language. In other words, a language in that scenario is an opportunity for that buyer, or for that client, for that customer, to get a preferential treatment. And that is actually a summary of an illustration of what you having the skill to speak a language gives you. It gives you that edge, that unfair advantage to actually benefit from what other people that do not speak that language benefit. And beautifully as it is now, the Canada immigration, for instance, gives people preferential treatment, gives people additional points, additional score, because they speak the French language. That's to tell you that the English language you speak is not enough for you to go to Canada. And I know you know that already. That's why you are actually taking this course. So moving on, people don't communicate with others if they do not understand what they are saying. Look at the scenario of the market I just pictured, or I just put forward. You will see that because we were able to communicate, because the Yoruba person was able to communicate with the Hausa person, it was not only understood, but it was also appreciated. Do you understand? So you need to also learn another language, because it would give you a cutting edge. Do you understand? It will give you an advantage more than the other person. Now, you become a part of a community when you share the native recognition. The native recognition of every community is their speech, their language. So once you can speak their language, you would be looked upon as someone that is part of that community. Now, another opportunity for you that you need to take note of in order to learn the French is that you get exposed to a new world of opportunities from within your country and also abroad. There are a lot of job opportunities people have gotten because they speak a particular language. So if you speak that language well enough, while not only speaking it, you are able to listen and understand it. You are able to read and understand, because the concept of literacy is also important in language learning. You need to be able to read the language, you need to be able to also write the language, so that you are not just what they call it, a bilingual, but you are also an elite bilingual, someone that is actually educated and can also do more than just speaking and listening. Now, I would like to introduce myself before we go further in this lesson. I am Aziz Ola Shoderu. Some of you may have known me already, but I am an online language coach and I speak just 6 languages: English, Yoruba, the French, the Chinese, Igbo, and Arabic. I speak them to varying levels of competencies, and I'm here once again teaching you how exactly to learn the French language. I'm the founder of the #1 Language and Linguistics Institute, AOS Academy Limited, and this is an online school, an online language school, whereby we teach people languages and we also impact in them. We also assist in Canada immigration and we help prepare students for examinations like IELTS, like TEF Canada, like DELF, and all other exams. I have also taken and excelled in the IELTS exam, the TEF Canada, and the DELF tests with CEFR levels of C1, B1, and the B2. Now, you could click on this link to read my full bio. I'm going to be posting a PDF of this, the PDF of this file, so you can download the PDF and go through and click the link to actually read my full bio on my website. Now, things that we are going to learn in this course. The very first thing we are going to learn is the bonus lesson if you haven't actually learned it. And that is where we're actually talking about what is French for TEF Canada. What exactly do we know as French for TEF Canada? Secondly, the lesson 1 is going to be centered on why you have to learn French for TEF Canada fast, and that is the first lesson we are having today. Now, the lesson 2 is the formula to learn French fast for TEF Canada test. There is always a formula to things. It is not that we are in a mathematical setting, but you need to understand that in order to succeed in anything you actually engage in, you need to know some tricks, some tips, some guidelines. You need to follow some guidelines in order to learn it quite easily. Now, lesson 3, the psychological obstacles keeping you from learning French. You need to also be able to know the problems you have in terms of your mindset. This is very important because one of the things I've realized is that people focus on the technical skills they need to learn language and they need to prepare for examinations, but they do not learn how to tackle their psychological or mindset obstacles, and we will be taking that in the 3rd lesson. The 4th lesson is the 7 pillars for successful French learning for TEF Canada test. We are going to be teaching you the pillars that you need to actually have, that you need to stand upon in order to learn French successfully well. Now, moving on, the next thing is for us to know how or why you need to learn the French language fast. The very first reason is that you need to build your confidence level for migration. If you know the French language, there is that confidence when you walk into the visa office and you speak to the visa officer. You would have that confidence because you know that you are, as they say in Nigeria, you are a hot cake. You know that you have substance, you know that you have value, you know that you have what they are looking for. So it builds your confidence. Secondly, it helps you to converse with French native speakers. Of course, you speak their language, so you'll be able to mix among them, you'll be able to converse with them. Now, thirdly, it helps you improve your employability status. Why do you have confidence when you go into the visa office, for instance? It's because you know you have a skill that they need. 1. 2, you have not only skills, but you have experience. You understand? Work experience or job experience that they are looking for in Canada that would help you in your selectional process, how they will select you and how you are going to move to Canada eventually. Also, it helps you take TEF test easier and quicker. There's nothing as joyful as this because you know that to write a French exam is not easy. It's not, especially a language that you have not been brought up with from cradle. But just like people like us, we didn't learn. If you know my history, I didn't learn the language from birth. I learned it from the university, and not even fully. At the university, I took some extra classes outside. Now, also, it helps you increase your CLB scores for immigration. Your Canadian language benchmark, which we have talked about in the bonus lesson, it helps you boost it. It helps you improve it for Canada immigration. It helps you get provincial nominations on time. For instance, if you are looking at moving to provinces like Quebec, like Ontario, which are very competitive, you would be able to actually stand, you understand, stand apart. You will be unique from all other people that do not have the French competence. It also helps you raise your CRS score in the Express Entry Pool, the EE pool. Of course, since you are able to get points for your TEF Canada test, you would also be able to increase your points, your Express Entry Pool points. Now, also, and the final thing is that it helps you get selected and it helps you migrate to Canada easily, wonderfully well. Why? Because you know the French language, because you are a French speaker. Now, what are the top reasons why people do not learn French fast? The reason why people do not learn French fast are numerous, but out of them is one: lack of clear and concise goals. You want to learn French, we know already, but what exactly are you looking up to? Do you want to learn it fast? And that fast is quite ambiguous. Do you want to learn it within 3 months? Do you want to learn it within 6 months? You need to be specific so that you know how exactly you need to prepare, how many hours you are going to put to learning the language on a daily basis. When we get into the next lessons, we'll be telling you, or we'll be showing you how exactly you can calculate the hours you need to learn the French language. Now, the other reason is that people are not practically using the language right from the very first day of learning. And it is counterintuitive, because you may be first of all scared that what do you have to say on the very first day, but that is one of the days that actually define if you would learn the language well and use it or not. You need to start using it as from the time. Too much focus on not making mistakes. This is when you try to be a perfectionist. You don't always want to make mistakes, but you make mistakes because you need to improve. You make mistakes because you don't know it. And once you have made the mistake and you get corrected, you learn from that. Now, another thing is that people don't develop healthy learning habits. There's nothing in life that do not deal with habit formation. As you are listening to me right now in this online course, you formed an habit by not just attentively listening, but taking notes. For people that are taking notes amongst you, you are taking notes because you want to get value from that. Do you understand? So as a result of that, you are forming an habit of becoming attentive because you want to get something out of this. So we form habits daily. If you don't form good habits, if other people that are also listening to this lesson are not focusing on the lesson, are doing other things while taking this lesson, they are forming bad habits while actually taking this lesson, and that would define and delineate them once they start learning the language, because they were not serious right from the very start. They can form good habits afterwards, but it's better to start early. Now, being stuck at the intermediate level, I see a lot of people always getting stuck when they speak French a little. Why? Because they do not improve. They feel that, oh, because they are at the intermediate level, they know the French already. And it is not that way. You need to keep on improving yourself. Now, trying to figure everything on your own, you want to be a loner. Yeah, you can be a lone wolf. You can figure everything yourself. You have to use expertise. Now, the other thing is too much focus on literary aspects of French. I see a lot of people go to language schools, get language coaches, and focus on just reading and writing the French language. That will not help them learn the French language fully. Now, what are the common ways to learn French fast? The common ways I know of Now, we'll talk about is first of all, engaging in a physical classroom. That means going to a language school, going to a university, getting a university degree, which is the second one, going to learn French for 4 years in the university, or getting a diploma at colleges or polytechnics, college of educations, polytechnics amongst us, or even doing self-study. I know a lot of people that learn the French language on their own, and you can do that also. Another one is speaking with francophones. Some people want to always just travel to francophone countries and go and speak their language, go and learn their language. Now we have other people that get a private tutor that comes to meet them maybe in their house or in their office and teach them the language. We also have language applications on mobile devices, on laptops, on gadgets, on tablets, where people actually engage in making use of these applications to learn the French. We have language games. You play games, you simulate language simulation, you simulate language learning simulation, you simulate what is happening in real life. They give you different scenarios of language use and you practice it through play to learn the language. Social media platforms, there are a lot of social media platforms now that are used for learning, even Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, even couch surfing. There are a lot, numerous social media platforms you can use to learn the language. Traveling and living in a foreign country, I've talked about that when we talked about speaking with francophones. For francophones that are amongst you, you can speak with them, but for people that are located in francophone countries, a lot of people always want to use the opportunity to travel to their country and go and learn the language. And the one we are actually preaching here is the online courses, the online coaching. In these online courses, we actually combine some and most of these ways of learning French. We combine it because we see that there are some that still need to be added to the online courses. Now, strategies to use in learning online. The first strategy is for you to join a supportive online learning community. There are a lot of online courses out there, but you need to be strategic about choosing one that you make use of while learning the language. Do they have online learning community? Do they have series of learners, series of coaches that already are speaking or have started learning the language just like you? Do they engage? Okay, you need to also engage with your language coach personally. You need to get a language coach, either the one that you get in the online course or the one that you get elsewhere. You converse with them personally. You need to create a team of learning partners, people that are going to hold you accountable to your language learning process, people that you would always grow with. You need to use a mix of language learning e-tools, electronic tools like the social media we talked about, like the language games, online language games, you understand, online language simulations, language applications, things like that. You need to use them. You need to maintain daily online communication, and please note the word daily. It needs to be daily if you really want to take it serious. Chat with French. Do you understand? Send voice notes on WhatsApp with French. Do you understand? Send pictures. Do you understand? Send pictures, GIFs in French. Now you need to watch pre-recorded videos more than once. This video, for instance, don't just watch it once. Watch it more than once, twice, 3 times, because it will help you take note of things that you didn't take note of the very first time. You need to participate in class discussions and exercises. Don't just be a person that listens, a person that does the passive involvement. Be actively involved. Get constant feedback from your coaches. Always converse with them. Let them know your level and ask them on your improvement. Now, please, you need to note something here. What is your learning profile? Now, there's something that is quite interesting that people don't really know about. The learning profile. You need to really understand yourself. Are you someone that is knowledgeable? Are you someone that is caring? Are you someone that is a risk taker? Do you reflect a lot? Do you think a lot? Are you someone that you inquire, you ask questions? Are you a communicator? Do you just like to converse with people? Are you principled? Do you have your manners, your values that you hope you hold high up? Are you balanced in your life? or not balanced? Are you open-minded to new ideas? These are the things that we in the online course, the FTC online course, always help you to find out. We find out by asking you questions like, are you good at talking more than reading? Do you thrive by researching things yourself? Do you like asking questions to learn new things? Or do you like to think things through alone? Do you like to take chances on learning and answering questions even if you are unsure? Or do you care much about what people think about you when you are in class? These are the things you need to recognize about yourself before you even start learning, so that once you get to that point that these things come right at you, you would understand how to tackle them. Now, the ultimate goal of this lesson is for you to find yourself, understand the mechanisms, know the methods that helps you learn French fast, speak and understand and have conversational competence in it, and also take TEF Canada test confidently. And lastly, get B2 or more at just one sitting. Now, the next lesson is the formula to learn French for TEF Canada. But please, before you go, note that sharing is caring. Like and share this course on Instagram, send to your friends on email, send it on Facebook, on Google, on Pinterest, on Reddit, Tumblr, on Twitter, on WhatsApp. Please note that sharing is caring. Please share it amongst your people. Use the buttons below this video to actually share this video. Go to the comments and answer the following questions. Which way have you used before now to learn French? What is your learning profile? Mention the reasons why you are not prepared for TEF Canada test now. And I really hope to get your responses. I would respond to each, or I would help you with your responses to each of those comments that I get. Thank you very much, and I hope to see you in the next lesson.